Hi guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing my last eyeshadow palette that I've had stored away for like 12 years maybe. It's kind of embarrassing how long some of the palettes I've used in my resin pours and how old they are. None of them will go to waste, like I said before in my other videos, because I have just been using them in art instead of just throwing them away. It's just kind of an experimentation and how I can use anything left over that I'm not going to use always out of date within resin, just to make a kind of different resin piece of art, because it can be quite expensive resin, because obviously you've got to pay for the initial resin, which is about 60-70 quid if you want to get 2 kilograms worth of resin, and then you've also got the pigments that you can buy for it. Eyeshadow palette I've got is another sleek one. I've been loving sleek as long as I can remember really, and this one is called A New Day number 430. It's another neutral palette because I have naturally bluey grey eyes. I gravitate towards browns and natural kind of shades of colour. I've got 6 pots that I'm going to be using, so each one will have probably about 2 in of each. So what I'm going to do now is mix up all my colours, get my resin ready. I am going to be changing up the pouring technique because I have just been pouring it on in lines and making the surface of the line similar, so I am going to try and do a puddle pour and see how that goes. Okay, we are now all set. I've put a layer of resin on top. There has been a little bit of transfer of the black stick, but I don't think it will really matter once we get going. The underneath part is just red acrylic paint because I had some left over and I didn't want to just work on a canvas. You can see bits of the canvas still, but the warmth of the red will really nicely contrast with the colours of the eyeshadow palette. So I'm just going to set up my hairdryer, then we'll get going. I've actually ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cups. I've decided to use some of the plastic ones because with plastic you could just peel it off the next day, as long as you remember to peel it off the next day. I think we're just going to start with, I'll go for a darker shade to start. Okay, what I'm going to do is going to put this to one side and let it dry, and I'll see you guys for when it's dry. I just want to quickly note, I do know there's bits of like eyeshadow or bits of paint in the actual pour that have popped up. I actually really like the texture of it. It's completely accidental, but it's just a nice thing that I've found that works with my type of art style. Noting that, I'll see you guys when this is dry. Hello, it is now the next day. As you can tell, it is nice and dried. It worked really, really well. All I can say is that I'm really happy with the fact that I used a Puddle pour technique for the last eyeshadow palette. I kind of wish I did it with all of them, but like I said, it was just an experimentation and using up any sort of materials that I had. I did say just before putting this aside, you can see bits of the eyeshadow and maybe some bits of acrylic paint throughout the texture of the landscape of the resin pour, but for me that's fine. I actually don't like it when it's just smooth. I like there to be a bit of texture or separation, something just to make it a bit more visually interesting. And it kind of goes with composition of the art pour, because it does look very stony and I want to say marbly, kind of like a terracotta version of marble. One thing that I thought I just kind of put on side and just didn't really think about was the background colour. I actually think it really goes. It's such a nice warm and simple acrylic paint. It's just a crimson red that I mixed in with a bit of PVA glue left over from an acrylic pour, and it's just made this really nice marks throughout. It's just a bit different from just the usual white canvas, and also I think it helps with the texture because it's almost like priming brand new canvas. But I'm really happy that I made that decision. What also helps is that it is a naturally warm colour, more than, let's say, the colours on here, but actually it's a nice contrast because you can see the browns that are warm and the ones that are slightly cooler all the way throughout the canvas. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye now.